BehatiLife. Okay, it's loading. It is what it is. All right, you guys. So welcome back again, like I said, to Astro Chat Live. If you're reading for the first time, my name is Jessica Alexandria. I'm the creator of BehatiLife Apothecary, professional astrologer, tarot, and intuitive reader. We have a ton of things that it is that we need to talk about this week. I have my chart pulled up on my handy dandy mini iPad. You can't see it, but let me show you. Let's go ahead and get her up. She is right here. Here we go. Yep, this week, astrology, February 5th. There's my chart. If you guys have any questions about the transits, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. Outside of that, I think we're ready to go. I'm pretty sure we're ready to go. Okay, Betty Nova notices I hear you. You're looking good. Thank you, honey. I so appreciate it. DK says, you look so beautiful. Thank you, girl. Look, my shirt says honey. Honey. I love that. Okay. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Okay, so first things first. We have a smaller audience today, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. First things first, there is a lot of shifts that I'm seeing this as like groundbreaking, like the ground literally being broken out underneath us. Again, this is because of Uranus, right? So Uranus is the planet of unexpected developments, unprovoked attacks. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Unprovoked attacks. Things that it is that we don't necessarily see coming, but when they come, when they show up, they hit us, they shock us, and we have to find ways quickly to restabilize ourselves, try to reinitiate a sense of balance and coordinate ourselves. We can get disoriented when Uranus comes through and kind of flips the soil right underneath us. Not only is it Uranus that we're feeling the influence of this, but Jupiter transiting through Taurus too is doing a number, is really honestly doing a number. Jupiter expands, of course. It's the planet of abundance and optimism and bringing higher philosophy and wisdom and intuition, well, higher intelligence to the chat. But it also expands all that it is that it touches. And in this case, Jupiter is in a sextile. It's in contact with Saturn, the planet of restriction, commitment, bonds, ruling Capricorn energy here, and currently now transiting through the sign of Pisces. And basically what this does is it's kind of highlighting some of our more difficult some of our more difficult transits. It's not as bad as it was, but it's not as good as it could be. When we see major planets like this, when they're all kind of in cahoots and they're conversing with each other, we know that there's something big afoot. We have to know that there's something big afoot. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how this unfolds with world leaders, with people in positions of power. Why? Because we've been seeing that kind of unearth for the last few years. Really interested to see that. However, think about if all of these major planets, right? Let's say if all these major planets represent different countries and each of those different countries have different rulers, they may be focusing on all these individual things. Let's say one is focusing on prison reform. I don't know. I'm just drawing, like making things up, pulling straws here for examples and metaphors. One is working on fixing its financial agreements and treaties. And then another one is focusing on medical marijuana. It's all these different planets that might be focusing on the different topics that they feel are what they want to focus on that's going to better their lives for themselves and for their people. Think about this when all of those planets kind of gather together and have a common goal. They may be coming from different points and different interests and different wisdoms, but at the end of the day, they're all kind of meeting at this round table and they're talking about something significant, something major. It's not so rare to see all of these major planets in cahoots and in conversation, but it's meaningful every single time that it happens. And the planets that are talking right now in large conversation, we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus. They're all in some type of major conversation in your life. Now, where this is going to play out for you, it's going to be different for everyone depending on your astrology chart. I say this all the time, but I am very specific. about and precise when it comes to my tarot readings and astrology readings. So I don't like to give like a generalization to something that is so powerful within our lives. Either way, we know that it's going to minimally impact the areas of our chart that rule Taurus, that rule Pisces, specifically big time Pisces, Aquarius. I'm sorry, yeah, Aquarius, and still lingering. Keep your eyes on Capricorn energy right now. Okay. Kristen says, Jess, you are immaculate in your devotion to the mess that is life. Thank you. I am. I really am. It's funny that you say that because I was kind of reflecting on my life. Am I the only one who's been reflecting on life lately? I've been reflecting on my life and I was just like, what is this going to look like at the end of it, like towards the end of it? And hopefully, fingers crossed, I have a long life. With that though, I'm like, I think the word is definitely devoted. I think the word to describe me is definitely devoted. And I am very, very proud of that. I'm devoted to like definitely astrology, tarot, my craft, my work. But I also see devotion like flow into other areas of my life. The things that it is that I care about the most, I really take very good care of them. I'm not perfect. None of us are, but I definitely look out. So thank you for noticing and bringing that out. I really want to talk to you guys though. Yeah. So Zaina says the heavy Aquarius energy that's coming up feels so refreshing. Sorry, there was someone on the door. Yeah, the heavy Aquarius energy that's coming feels so refreshing. I agree. We're going to be talking about that to many different extents. My intention and my plan is to break the week up into 3 different parts. The first part, which is going to ride us up until Wednesday, and then Thursday into Friday is going to be the second part. Third part's going to be the weekend. There is a lot of influence of Aquarius in our charts this week. So having said that, regardless of your sun, moon, rising, or any type of planets that follow within your chart, you do have Aquarius ruling something in your chart, in your life. It just does. I'm going to have an astrology chapter that is, I just remembered something. I'm going to have an astrology section added to Sacred Circle Tarot School. It's not there yet. We're still focusing on esoteric symbolism and tarot. I would do the full breakdown of how you can pull your chart, but just trust me when I say this, or don't. It's up to you. That Aquarius does rule a house, a chapter within a section of your life. If not, if you don't even want to think about that, just know that you probably know an Aquarius, or you're on this planet with us being influenced by these stars, by these planets. And Aquarius energy is definitely going to be influencing in you some way. In some way, you're going to feel it. So having said that, are we all ready to talk about the planets? I think we have about 346 people in for Astro Chat Live on YouTube, 100 comments. Let's go ahead and give this video a thumbs up before we get started. And thank you guys so much on TikTok for joining me. I'm Jess. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so excited to be here. I think it's so awesome, the fact that this is all we're all just live. Like, you're just live. It's so cool. Okay, water for your mind. Oh, hi. Emma just entered the chat. I love you so much, girl. Love you so much. Okay, Self-Discovery 33 says, I can't wait. I have been in hermit mode since last week of December. Girl, let me tell you, that is not going to last very long. If you're in hermit mode, I don't see that lasting. I'm seeing a lot of activity, a lot of energy picking up, things kind of speeding up. I think that for a lot of people, everyone's kind of different. I've been kind of noticing how, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I've been noticing a lot of people have been in their headspace, kind of worrying, not worrying, like a spinning top, just kind of thinking. And a lot of this is mostly kind of like planning for the future, thinking about what happens next. That's another thing too that happens when we're dealing with the realms of Aquarius. It's really hard for Aquarian energy to stay present. So I'm wondering if you guys have been feeling that too, just trying to think about planning your next move, planning your next step. We are definitely going to be feeling this energy this week, but I'm going to give you some tools and resources to help you with that. But 9 times out of 10 have already been feeling this already. If not that you're worrying and thinking about the future, there is some type of element here of detachment. I don't know where this is coming from, because I was sitting with this before I went live. I was asking myself, does this feel like something that the collective is initiating, or does this feel like something that is forcing them to make moves forward? And honestly, it feels like flipping a coin. For some of you guys, I will say that leading into this week, if you feel like you are, detaching yourself from certain situations, not that there's not emotion there, not that there's not feelings, not that there's not an intuitive wisdom and guidance. If you feel like you're being detached, or you're actively detaching yourself from a situation, it almost feels like your hands are tied. It feels like something that you're like, listen, this may not necessarily have been what I would have chosen for myself, but now that I'm here, I have no choice but to power forward and to figure this out for my own sake, for my own well-being. The word that is really sticking out is empowerment. Another one is integrity. And the third one is, this is not just one word, but three words. I need space. I need space. You may have heard other people say that. You yourself may have found yourself saying that. I need space. Now, this doesn't have to look like 100% negativity. It doesn't have to be negative. Like, oh, you go sit over there. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I don't want to see you right now. It doesn't need to be that aggressive or that dramatic. It's just, again, it just seems like people are in their headspace, thinking, planning, and strategizing for what needs to happen next. Nikki Ann on TikTok says, girl, since when are we doing TikTok lives? Hell yeah, queen. Since right now. Since right now. It's happening right now. Okay. And honestly, I was a little bit wobbly with continuing to go live every week, because I'm very careful about over compromising myself, not over promising myself to show up in certain situations. Again, that realm of balance and boundaries. But once Chiron went retrograde, she was healed. She was ready. She was ready to move forward. She wanted to put herself first, and that's what we're doing now. So yeah, Nikki says, I'm here for it, babe. Me too. Thank you so much for your love and support. Okay, Hannah the Healing Queen says, recently I was detaching socially because I don't want to get hurt again. Exactly. That's the energy that it is that I feel for the collective, for the masses, is maybe not for everyone, this feeling of like, it's not that you don't want love. It's not that you don't want to put yourself out there. It's not that you don't want opportunity. It just feels like there's something here that's not, it's not digestible. It's not. This sounds really weird. I'm sorry that this is a metaphor that's coming through, but it's like if you want a meal and someone is telling you to swallow cotton. Like, that sounds really weird, and that sounds really specific. And this definitely does not specifically apply to someone in that exact term. But it's like, that you need nourishment. You know that you need to be in a space that's nourishing you. And what something or someone or what the energy is giving you is something that's like, I can't process this. Like, this has no value to me. Like, maybe you eat cotton. Maybe that's your weird kink, or that's your weird thing that you do, or addiction. But I eat food. It's like trying to negotiate with an alien. Like, they're just coming from, these metaphors are getting weird, but I think it's Aquarius influence right now. But it's just, it's not linking. It doesn't make sense. It's not vibing. So with that, unfortunately, this now pushes you in a place where you're like, now that I know this, now that I'm hearing this, now that I know that I can't control this, I can't change this. And hopefully you've come to that place where you're like, listen, I'm going to let bygones be bygones. I can't change you. You can't change me. We don't want the same things. So now I'm going to move forward. I'm going to go over here. For some of you guys, it's not that you're detaching, it's that you're actually attaching to your future. And this is going to be a fuck ton. Like, this is going to be like a mind fuck for you. I'm sorry to say that, and pardon my French. This is going to be a mind fuck. Why? Because Aquarius energy, you may not necessarily see it right now, everything that's happening, even if it directly impacts you. But Aquarian energy, Uranus energy, always flashes you forward into the future. So you can't even tell. You might be hypersensitive and know that clearly something is happening here, but you don't necessarily know where the universe is taking you, or where this path is taking you, or why this has to happen the way that it does. Do trust and believe that with these planets, if you are being actively redirected away from something right now, just go with it. Just go with it. Trust me, trust my judgment. BFF Jess has just entered the chat. Let it go. Just go with it. Oftentimes when we're, again, these planets, these major planets are in cahoots about major things that are happening in our lives. It's in your best interest to let go of the very things that the planets, your energy, your intuition, your angels, your guides, if you're spiritual, are telling you, listen, this is antiquated. This is not, there's something here that you may not necessarily see, that in the future you'll be so happy that you let it go. Now, for some people and some situations, it's going to be the collapse of that person, that thing, that energy, that business that compromised itself, that didn't move with integrity. You don't need to be a part of that vibe. You don't need to be a part. You don't need to go down with the ship. Now, that's a very dramatic statement to say, and just go ahead and put a pin in it. I haven't been wrong yet. You know, I'm not perfect, but I haven't been wrong yet. I would just put a pin in it on this day, February 5th. That's what Jess said. And just keep your eyes open before the end of the year. You'll see. So in the meantime, focus on what you got to do for you. Are you kidding me? Hold on. An ad's trying to come on here for YouTube, but I'm not here for it. Yep. Grow with the Flow says Boss Babe is activated. That's the way that that's how you gotta be. That's how you have to move. Yeah. Sharinda says, I definitely trust you, Jess. Thank you, honey. I so appreciate you so much. I was kind of reflecting back. Remember when I was talking about when I did my second book, and I wrote the complete astrology guide to 2022 or something. I can't remember. And I was getting this vision about what was his name? The Prince Harry specifically. And I didn't want to use his name because I didn't want to get sued. I love Prince Harry, but he does definitely seem sensitive. And I just kept seeing, I was like, I just feel like there's going to be a hyper focus. And this is when they were quiet. And all of a sudden that year, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle kind of exploded. I was just thinking about that this morning and how accurate that was. And I was just like, thank you, God. Like, honestly, thank you, God, for giving me vision and the courage to trust my intuition. But having said that about trusting your intuition, guys, definitely trust your own intuition when it comes to these changes that are happening in your life. And don't find yourself the person, the thing that binds you from where the universe is kind of guiding you. Sometimes, again, sometimes, and I'm a Virgo, so I do this all the time. We look so close to find clues and hints and put pieces of the puzzle together so that we can better prep and plan for what's to come. And with Aquarius energy, especially with Mercury entering into the sign of Aquarius, which is happening literally today. It already happened, 12:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is time for you to really kind of let go, detach from the outcome, and allow the universe and allow the cosmos and everything to kind of move you forward. I do want to say, before I move away from this Aquarius energy, when it comes to relationships, friendships, connection, job, those types of things, partnerships of all kind, doesn't have to be romantic, doesn't have to be intimate. Doesn't have to be friendly, doesn't have to be corporate. It just covers the bases of all friendships or all relationships. There's something here that you're going to be, if you haven't already, become a little bit aware of your own independent needs, your own desires. Is every box being checked here? For some of you guys, you might have been committed to something. It might be a sense of duty, obligation. This is something that you are not obligated. You do not need to stay in this space and fulfill this quota or fulfill these expectations if that is not what is for you. And on the flip side, this might not just be you delivering. You might be on the receiving end of this energy where someone else might be feeling like, listen, we had our run, we did our thing. And this is kind of weird too. If this is something that's going to happen, I would do it. Valentine's Day week is going to be nice. Chef's kiss. We'll talk about it for Astro on our Astro chat live for that. So don't worry about that. But if there's any type of breakups, disconnections and things like that, or splitations of any, I would see it. I would definitely see it around this week. And a lot of it will have to do with this root cause of just feeling like This is not, I feel unfulfilled. I feel like a lack of freedom. I feel like my growth is stunted here. Like I can only grow this far and I have to move. I have to migrate on. Yeah. Locked Mama says, oh my God, that feels so good to hear. Time to release. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it feels really, really good. Sometimes it feels really tough. Okay. Monique Rashawn says, yes. Last month, I walked away from a 10-year career. Wow, to go in the direction of something I've been passionate about and walked away from a 2-year relationship that was no longer serving. So, see how things really do align. Things really do align. Let's say, for those of you guys that are walking away from and don't know what you're walking towards, I just want to tell you real quick again, don't try to look for signs and signals of your purpose, your path, and what or prosperity or abundance. There are oftentimes moments in your life, and I'm saying this and I'm the biggest fucking hypocrite, because if I was in your shoes and if that was my situation, I would be losing it. I like to know what's going to happen next. I don't care if it's dinner plans. I don't care if it's a Christmas gift. You heard me. Ask my boyfriend. I don't like surprises. Even if it's like a Christmas gift, I want to know. I want to know. I don't know why. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's something like I literally could work on within myself, but I choose not to. I don't like surprises. Don't surprise me. For now, just let me know what to expect. That way I can plan accordingly. And then I say that I'm spontaneous, but I'm not. But I'm not. I might be a little unpredictable myself, but the rules don't apply for you. I'd like to know what the plan is so that I can be prepared. And if I don't, I'm going to freak out. I've already freaked out about it like 15 different times. I'm Virgo, right? I've already freaked out about it. Not only have I overthought it, but I weighed it. My Venus, I'm sorry, my Mercury is actually in Libra. So my head and my thoughts just be weighing back and forth. Question: where does your Mercury fall in your chart? Real quick question. Yeah, spiritually gifted 555 says, I think it may be a Virgo thing. I do not like surprises and I try not to be rude. Just tell me. Yeah, no, same. And not only that, but like sometimes when people get me gifts and it's like kind. It could be like the smallest gift ever. When they give it to me, I sometimes like offend people because I start thinking in my head, instead of showing like excitement and enthusiasm for the present, I'm like immediately my brow kind of like frowns up, like burrow, like what is this called when your brow gets all tight? And I just like start thinking like, where am I going to put this in my house? And that's a good sign because that means that I'm going to apply it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to give it away to someone else, but it just doesn't register to the other person as like kind. Okay. Spiritually gifted. Yes. As my Mercury is in Libra. Yeah. So I'm the same. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, but my Cancer rising, Mercury in Libra. It's a problem. Princess Leah says, hey, Jess, I'm glad to make another live. Welcome, honey. Thank you so much for joining in. Becky Brett says, same. I do not like surprises or gifts. Yep. Tasha said her Mercury is in Scorpio. Yes, honey. Yes. My mycelium network says furrow. That's the word. Thank you guys so much. You guys are on it today. You guys are on it. So thank you guys again so much for those of you guys that are joining here on TikTok. I'm live also right now on YouTube. If you're not following me on YouTube, feel free. And if those of you guys who are on YouTube don't follow me on TikTok, feel free to exchange over there. I've been sharing a lot of, I don't even want to call it content, but I guess in the realms of this, I've been sharing a lot of content. But pretty much it's when I'm in my garden, I'm just downloading messages. I have one coming up later on today or tomorrow about love and relationships. I had a really beautiful download and we're going to talk about that. Whew. So moving forward, let's see what we have here. Tiki Booyah says, girl, totally me. I ended a friendship, letting go of certain opportunities, or even missed class today. Oh, I even missed class today on purpose. Yo, you got to do what you got to do. I'm really big on self-care. I'm really big on listening to your own internal personal compass. Yeah. Natalia Diaz Jackson, Family Weaver Exhibit says, question mark. Is Mercury in Cancer bad? No, there's no negative transits. Even the more difficult and violent ones are not necessarily bad. You can always use them for opportunity or potential. It's ultimately how you wield that sword. Are you using it to help others? Are you using it to heal others? Are you using it to hurt yourself? or to hurt other people. It's always the power of your intention. Okay. You are more than just one transit. We do real astrology over here, like the real astrology. You could not be like broken down by these small things that are just like, oh, this person's bad because they're a Gemini or because Geminis are trash. I'm kidding. Geminis are cool. I have a few Gemini friends that I vibe with greatly. Who do you not like? Okay, we pivoted for a second. Who do you just not bang with? Like, who do you just not vibe with? Like, what sign? The comments right now are like, oh shit. Who do you not vibe with? Oh, yep, spiritually gifted, said Gemini. Yeah, Self-Discovery 33 says, hey, I'm a Gemini. I have all love for Gemini. My Geminis, you are my sisters, my brothers. I'm ruled by Mercury. You're ruled by Mercury. We're in this together. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of Pisces. I'm also seeing a lot of Scorpio. Oh, Flower of Life said male Cancers. Yep, Tasha. Wait, Tasha said Geminis. Sorry. Dahlia says Taurus. Really? I don't think I've ever heard of someone complaining about Taurus. I always feel like Taurus fly under the radar. Am I tripping? I just honestly feel, wow, no, I'm hearing a lot of, wow, you guys. Okay, wait. Did you date a Taurus? And they didn't like, they don't, oh, damn. How do I say this without being offensive? Did you date a Taurus and how about this? And it didn't work out. Is that why? Is that why you guys don't like Tauruses? And it's okay if you don't bang. Okay, wait. Oh, Dahlia says no. 3 Taurus women backstabbed me and were envious. Dahlia, curious what your astrology sign is, what your rising sign. And I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to put the little tiny pieces of the puzzle together here. Perfectly Messy Aquarius says Taurus is odd. Yeah, I love that. Hannah the Healing Queen says I like Tauruses. Wow. A lot of people don't mess with Tauruses. That's interesting. Teacups and Moonlight. Welcome back, honey. She said I dated one and worked with one. Both men and women were terrible people. Oh, both men and were terrible people. Wow. Terrible, like how? I gotta see their whole chart now. Damn it. See, I opened up a can of worms. Wow, backstabbed by a Taurus woman. Wow. But you will. Oh, yeah. Erica says, but you will like Taurus since they're your earth sign twins. Yeah, I just feel like Taurus energy, as long as there's a respectful distance and boundary, they tend to be fine. As long as you don't like cross that boundary. I also feel like they just, for the most part, as long as you don't like tread on them, as long as you don't like you appreciate the things that they're doing that they like, you know what I mean? Like you just, I don't know, like just don't cross the line between, I don't know how to describe this, but like what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. As long as it's just like a fine line, we should be good. If they judge, I think sometimes it's coming from a more superficial place, unfortunately. But yeah, Amanda says Lisa says us Taurians are weird. Yeah. Okay, Shonda says, never dated a Taurus, but both of my parents are Tauruses. Huh, interesting. I used to like be weird with Aquarians, but even though my mom's an Aquarian, but I date one now and it's awesome. So go figure. Okay. Wow, Shayla says, whatever sign you don't vibe with says a lot about you. No, I agree. That's a bullshit. I really do agree. Well, there are some people who are trash, though. There definitely are some people who are trash. All right, guys, we have deviated. Thank you for letting me know who you don't bang with. Wow, Hannah the Healing Queen says my dad's an Aquarius and my mom's a Scorpio. What a mix. My mom is an Aquarius and my dad is a Virgo. So, which is interesting though because I'm a Virgo. My boyfriend's an Aquarius. But we have fun together. We vibe. We have other complementing planets in our chart, and we're the same type of mindset. Very ambitious, very motivated, and we love family and we love each other. So it works. Okay, so speaking of love, Something that is concerning me this week, and I didn't even look at the astrology chart. How terrible of me. Something that is concerning me for this week is Venus. I was remembering that. Venus is definitely concerning me at the start of this week and covering most of the energy of this week. You might already be feeling this right now. So Venus traditionally rules love, relationships, beauty, aesthetic, value, and oftentimes money, like things that we can invest our money in, or that we can like, oh, this is a nice battery, I'll take that, I'll take 3. But let's go a little deeper with Venus energy here. And by deeper, I just mean just still staying like superficial level here. Let's go a little deeper, but without going into the meat, like cutting into the meat. Venus does also connect with us oftentimes how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth, our self-value. Do me a favor, if you already know, comment it in the comments. Where does your Venus fall within your chart? What does it contact within your chart? I would have to pull my chart up in order to answer that question for myself, because I'm really curious to see how this would impact me in my own life. And I'm pulling charts all the time, so I don't even remember my chart. But I'm interested in hearing what what sign your Venus falls in and what planets it is connecting with within your natal chart, not your transiting chart. Okay. And the reason why, yeah, you guys are kind of sharing. Oh, wow. Hannah the Healing Queen says it's conjunct ascendant in Libra. Oh, wow. Scorpio in the 12th house, Venus. Okay. Yeah, Venus. And so what does Venus contact? Like, does it square Pluto? Does it conjunct Neptune? Does it is it in a trine with Mars? I want to know what that is impacting. For those of you guys that have not just planets, that it's contacting, but asteroids and points like the North Node or the vertex point, you're gonna definitely fucking be feeling this. Pardon my French. I have the worst mouth ever. What is happening here is Venus is going to be squaring off with Chiron. And normally, this could be a little problematic and troublesome for some of us. I like to see it as an opportunity for us to heal, especially when it presents some weakened spots within ourselves. We're just like, I'm wondering, let's get a little bit closer to the meat, or let's get a little closer to the muscle. If we're cutting to the astrology chart here, which is a weird metaphor, but it is what it is. Where this might be stinging for you already, because when Venus squares off with Chiron, and after all of this self-growth, the self-work that we have done when Chiron was retrograde, which only recently just went direct, I'm wondering where you might be feeling this sting. For some of you guys, even when Chiron was retrograde in the sign of Aries, it's still in Aries right now, but it's going to be almost directly conjunct the North Node. It's close enough that you're going to be feeling this. Some of you guys might have actually been burying your head in the sand when it comes to things that you decide, like, I'm not dealing with this right now. Like, I don't see myself dealing with life. You might bury your head, not in the sand, but in situations or circumstances that comfort you for the time being. I don't think that you're going to have that same luxury, especially starting this week. Now, this is where, have you ever heard the metaphor of like someone who sweeps dirt under the rug? They sweep dust under the rug, like they kind of clean the house up a little bit, but then the very last part of it, they sweep the dust under the rug. I'm wondering if there's things here that you might be dealing with. Now, Venus squaring off with Chiron could start to highlight little parts and areas of your life that when it was retrograde for the last few months, you might not necessarily have wanted to deal with it. And now that it's direct, and now that it's in your face, and now you have the North Node, and now you have Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto doing all the things that it's doing, and then a new moon, it can really kind of rip that rug up and say, hey, remember me? Let's go ahead and deal with this. Or something exits out of your life, or it makes you exit out of its life. And now you're like, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my value? Listen to the words that you say to yourself when you get triggered. Listen to how you speak to yourself. Listen to the first thought that pops up and bubbles in your head and your heart when something doesn't go right, or when you have to confront something. The reason why you want to do this is because When Venus is squaring off with Chiron, you're almost having your back against the wall in the subconscious, in the spiritual realms. And this is an opportunity not for you to fall down, to collapse, to feel defeated, unless you feel like you need to do that. But this is an opportunity for you to say, listen, this is something that I do. This is a part of my wounded space that I revert back to. Why? Because that's where the initial pain, that's where the initial wound was created. That's where it was created. Where did I hear those thoughts? What taught me to think that way? What taught me to believe this way about myself? Let's say it's a relationship. Let's say with Mercury entering into the sign of Aquarius, I'm going to create a metaphor here. Let's say with Mercury entering the sign of Aquarius, your partner, your friends are separated, doing their own thing, pursuing their own interests, and they didn't include you. You're like, why does this always fucking happen to me? They like each other more than they like me. They're about to leave. They're going to abandon me. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. I think I'm laughing because it's relatable. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah. What are those thoughts? Where do your thoughts go? Where do they, I don't really amount to anything. It's because it's because I, you know, am wearing all black today. I don't know. Like, just where does your mind go when things don't really pan out in the way that is in alignment? Like, you're going to get triggered by something here. Where do your thoughts go? Morgan Rawdimer says, wow, the timing. Yeah, yep. Astrology timing is spot on, honey. And my eyes don't miss a beat. So keep an eye out for that, because Chiron, of course, is considered the wounded healer. The wound is the place where the light enters. The light is where we can focus on drawing our attention to that so that we can start to heal it and then begin to integrate it into our lives, into our daily routine. For some of you guys, there's this feeling of isolation. For some of you guys, there's this feeling of acceptance, global acceptance, social media acceptance. For those of you guys that, I don't know if I still have celebrity clientele that are watching right now. I feel like I haven't gone live and forever. So I think it might be a little quieter on those realms. But for those of you guys that are celebrity or in public eyes, and in, what is it called? Public relations, like your appearance. These are things where, and how the public perceives you, these are things that could be actively attacked. And again, the same thing that fueled you, the same creative pursuits and interests and passions that ignited you and lit you up and probably put you in the position where you are celebrated for those talents and those gifts. If there's a trigger here or something that happens, this energy of I need space is important, because this is where you separate yourself even from your gift, even from the thing that defines you, even from how the world sees you, so that you can really start to see within yourself, so that you can really heal and see within yourself and totally separate from this ego, from this identity. And those things, don't get me wrong, those things, that identity, that ego, that passion, that purpose is important, but it's not everything. It's just simply not everything. We also have Sun in this really beautiful sextile with Chiron too. The Sun is the light and it's lending its energy. Currently, right now, Sun is transiting through the sign of Aquarius. So again, it's another sign and then another nod to us detaching ourselves, separating ourselves from the outcome, separating ourselves from this identity, separating ourselves from what we thought that we were going to have for ourselves, what we thought we wanted for ourselves, who we thought we are or were, and then redefining ourselves from a bigger place. Aww. Empress Kieras Jace, Mother of Dragons, says, hey, Jess, you look beautiful. Thank you, girl. I tried. I really did. The other thing too is like a pimple, Venus, the planet again of love, beauty, aesthetic, money, resources, and value, is going to be directly conjunct Pluto. Pluto is naturally going to push out and excrete anything that doesn't serve us. And we're going to feel this the start of this week. That's a lot. That's a lot to feel. That is the first start of this week, guys. That is the first. Oh, thank you, Chrissy, so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And the little heart. It's adorable. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I so appreciate you. Are we ready to move on to the second portion of this week, which is covering us Wednesday through Friday, please let me know, because this is where we're going to hit some turbulence. I mean, we already are hitting turbulence, but we're going to hit some actual turbulence. Like actual turbulence. Is anybody flying this week? Are you guys going to be traveling this week? Lauren says, wait, when does it stop squaring again? This influence is going to be felt. You're already feeling it right now. You've already started feeling it from Sunday, Saturday. You're going to feel it into, I want to say, until like Wednesday afternoon. That's going to be the predominant energy. Yeah. Oh no, I don't want you guys to listen to an ad right now, so I'm going to skip over that. YouTube is really trying to do the most. Starting in the middle of this week, you guys are ready. So on the 7th, Mars is going to be in a beautiful sextile with Neptune. I just love those easier transits. Personally, they're not so intense, but you're still going to feel them regardless. I feel like YouTube's putting an ad in right now. Interesting. And on the 8th, we have, on the 8th, we have Sun again, still taking the light of Chiron that it picked up from Chiron, and now is in a square with Uranus. These two transits here, you guys already know. Yeah, Eve says it's already turbulent. Why is it always static? It's those major planets, honey. It's the major planets, and your chart might be more vulnerable. So I would have to see your chart, but it's the major planets. Remember, these major planets, they're sitting down and they're conversing about things that are going on in your life. And it can be very triggery. It can be very triggery because, especially if you don't know what they're talking about, especially if you don't know what the greater plan is, but just kind of trust the process and where this might be taking you, even if this does mean incredible radical disruption in your life. And I don't want to trivialize it, because a lot of people are losing very important things from health, their peace. Your health is your wealth. And when your health and your peace are compromised, what do we have? What do we have? So there's been a lot, I don't want to speak it into existence, but there's a lot of more heavier messages and energy that's going on. So the best thing that we should do, and all that we should do right now, is to be gentle with ourselves and these transits, because it's not as terrible as it once was, but it still is not as smooth as it could be. Thank you, V, so much for the super chat. I so appreciate you, like so much. I'm gonna give that a heart right there. Yeah. All right. Yeah, B says, I joined at the right time. My health is giving me troubles. I'm going to overcome this. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Speak it. Speak it. You will overcome it. Also, if you're someone who's dealing with health concerns, this is something too that will teach us. There's some things that we don't have any control with. That is 100% true and accurate. And we have to learn how to kind of like go with it, like go with the flow and unroll it in the way that is unrolling. And then there's other situations that we can learn, like literally this could be the thing, or this will be the thing that teaches me how to take better care of myself. The promises that I said that I would do, and the things that I would do for myself, I'm going to take them more seriously now. I'm going to take them more seriously. Do you remember how I said in the very beginning of this video that it seems like someone is collectively, whether it's a relationship, whether it be career, whether it be whatever, there's this energy of this isn't fulfilling me, like this isn't helping me to thrive, this isn't conducive to me, like this stops my growth here, or this perpetuates growth that doesn't need to be happening over here. These are the types of transits that literally stop that. And Mercury entering into the sign of Aquarius pulls the mind, pulls the perspective, so you can see it big picture, and we're no longer making those repeated mistakes anymore. No. Yeah. Eve says, this week friendships and career have been a little iffy for me. That is the truth. On the 8th and on the 9th, we're going to have the new moon in Aquarius. I'm going to have a whole video about that. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also TikTok. But the sun squaring off with Uranus transit and the new moon in Aquarius, this is going to be radical departure from something. It could look like a huge blessing. It could look like, okay, wait, let me stop. If this is a huge blessing, a huge opportunity that's entering into your life, I want to tell you, I never fucking tell you what to do with your intentions with your life. But let me just tell you now. Let me just tell you this. Do take time to sit with it, to vibe with it, to feel it out, bring it to your angels and your guides, your ancestors, the divine, your higher intuition. That's not to say that this is something that is bad. It's just I've been doing readings for Behati Love Notes, my monthly subscription where I do like exclusive readings throughout the month for those of you guys that are subscribed. And this energy keeps showing up about discernment, slowing down, and not jumping on every single opportunity, really sifting through certain opportunities. And I don't know why, but I have not been wrong yet. I've not been wrong yet. And although that message was exclusively for Behati Love Notes, is there anybody here in Behati Love Notes signed up for Behati Love Notes? You've heard me talk about this. You've heard me talk about this, and it keeps showing up. I would, and if something is for you, it's not going to come up and bubble up and then just immediately pop. If it's for you, it's not going to do that. Don't take forever pondering on it. Don't exploit the time that you take for yourself. Yeah. Toffee Hugs says yes. Nikki says I am yes. Applicable Magic. I love that. Applicable. What a beautiful word. It says yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the new moon. I don't know. Maybe it's the new moon. I'm not here to get timing in astrology, if you're actually doing it right, it is a lot of energy and effort. It takes a lot of fucking time. It does. You have to pull a multitude of different charts in order to pinpoint time. And at that point, you might as well just go with the flow. At least that's what I like to do. At that point, I just am like, listen, I can tell that something is coming here. I can tell that something is happening. All I need to know is the general energy for right now and specifically how it applies to my chart. After that, the details will then unfold. Garji says, sent 111. Thank you so much. So grateful for your channeled messages. You are such a blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're gonna make me cry. I'm so glad to finally catch you live. I'm so grateful to be here, guys. I can't even tell you. Not that anything dramatic was going on in my life, but not the last 2 years, because the last 2 years have very much smoothed out for me in a way that's kind and like silk with kinks in it. You know what I mean? But that's okay. We can fix it, right? We can fix it. We can make a quilt. We're going to make a quilt. But before that, girl, it was freaking, I don't even know. I don't even know what to tell you. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. Okay. All right. So looking into this a little further, my thing is here, and I'm going to have a video about this on my TikTok, a shorter video on my TikTok. I didn't even heart your super chat. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much. And 111 of your dollars or your money is just of your currency is something that I'm so grateful for. Thank you. Very, very kind, very, very generous. I would, for the week from the 10th until Sunday, what are you guys' plans for the weekend? I'm going to be packing orders. I'm already mentally preparing myself for Mercury squaring off with Jupiter. This has a tendency for me personally to make me not burn out, but like think about like if a race car is revving its engine and hitting the gas and the wheels start to turn real fast. That's usually that type of transit is how it impacts me. So on the 10th, that's Saturday, all this weekend, I'm going to be packing up orders. My aunt is coming. My baby cousin is coming. We're going to be getting what I've created out. I've got a few boxes here right above. You can't see, but right over. Yeah, that's my plan. This is also opening up the door for miscommunication, and miscommunication is one way to say it, but I see it as almost like, are you serious? You know, when you're talking to someone or you tell them instruction and they're like partially listening, kind of nodding their head, say that they got it, they're going to take care of it. And then how they fulfill what you ask them to do. It's like, are you serious? Like you didn't use common sense with that. Like, I know you didn't think that one through. And now you made mine for me. I'm Virgo. So I'll just be like, now I got to clean up the mess. Like now I got to, I could have done this myself. Like that's kind of what this energy is giving on the 10th with with Mercury squaring off with Jupiter. It's like that you weren't thinking when you did this. Like I'm questioning your logic here. I'm questioning, and not that people do it in intention with malintention or to set you up for failure, or to mess you up, to fuck you up, or anything like that. Pardon my French again. But it's like you're not really thinking about how this impacts me and how this could, like, you're just not thinking about me. Like, you're just thinking about yourself, and you being like, sorry, that doesn't fix. That doesn't fix. That's what the 10th, that's what the 10th is giving. Now, on the flip side, this is one of those times where if you're going out, if you're with your friends, if you're vibing, if you're on the town, did I age myself when I said that? Yeah, Tasha said, I think that transit's already fucking with my life. LOL. I believe it. If you're with your friends, if you're young, if you're drinking, or if you're old and you're drinking, use moderation. Please be careful. This is where our thoughts are like, oh no, I could take this next shot. And it's like, no, bitch, no, you can't. Like, is that really what you want to do? Like, maybe don't. Like, maybe don't. Also, if for those of you guys that are staying in, this is wonderful binge worthy content absorption. So let's say you're watching Real Housewives of Bravo. No, what? Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Bravo, Real Housewives of Atlanta on Bravo, from start to finish, all of the seasons. She used that transit wisely. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Mercury squaring off with Jupiter is giving, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stream content. I'm going to detach. I'm going to vibe. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to soak my mitts, soak my paws, do what you got to do. It's literally giving. Someone just mentioned, V says, working with deities. LOL. Absolutely. If you are, first of all, you can work with your angels and your guides, your deities anytime. Just make sure that your altars are clean. Your altars are clean and your intentions are pure. That's something that you don't need to wait for a transit or a time for that. For those of you guys that are witches and working your magic and setting intention, I'm here for that. For that, I think I'm reading this correctly, but Bianca says, what about love and romance? Is this a good weekend for that? The best, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a good or a bad weekend for love or romance or anything. It's kind of like if you understand the transit, even you can make a bad weekend good, right? For love and romance. Let's say you had some really nasty transits going on. You could use that friction and that tension in order to entice and to draw in what you want and need in your love life and relationships. So again, as someone who's very specific and detailed, I don't see any transit as totally bad for love and relationships. Personally, I feel that next week is going to be not chef's kiss, but pretty smoother than this week if we're going general with love and relationships. If I was going to focus on anything this week with love and romance, I would first focus on myself and triggers. I would then, if I'm in a relationship or if I'm dating, I would focus on intimacy. I would focus on getting to understand someone beyond surface level. Why? I would also really aggressively lean into listening. I would look into listening, connecting with them, and not talking so much, but hearing what is that they're saying, hear what they're saying and hear what they're not saying. Read between the lines, and thoughtfulness will go a long way this week when it comes to love and romance. And that is a fucking guaranteed fact. That is all the time, but definitely this this week. When it comes to love and relationships too, and romance, I did mention splitation. For those of you guys that are in relationships, and again, you're just like, wow, I'm just not growing, or this person's not growing. So there is that. I don't see that as a negative thing. Sometimes breakups need to happen. I know personally, I've been in some situations that I definitely felt unfulfilled in them, and from a sense of duty and from a sense of, oh, I am just not ready to let this go. And I'm not a quitter, for better or for worse. I stayed in those situations and lasted a little bit longer than I should have. I would pray about it, set intention, because I'm always bringing it to my angels and my guides. And then they would kind of redirect me to move in different directions. And then, or the shit would hit the fan. I'd be like, well, there goes that. Like, there's my answer. Moving on to the next one. But yeah, so, and obviously it kind of panned out well for me right now in this situation. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it continues to go that way. Because, um, but yeah, I don't think that there is okay. If I had to give a rating on for this week when it comes to love and romance, a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolute garbage trash, set on fire in an oil slicked storm that is raining sludge, and 10 being like there's a rainbow, do me on it. Like I would give this for love and romance, I would give this, I'm sorry to say this, but a 4.8 if you're not trying, and an 8.9 if you're actively applying yourself to listening and being compassionate and considerate. Okay, guys. Yeah, we have covered all of our bases. There is some more information that I want to share, but we hit an hour. I'm surprised that we're able to get everything in. Because I'm, you know me, I like to talk. But the other bits of information and notes that it is I'm sharing, I'm going to put it on my I'm going to put it on my YouTube, and I'm also going to put it on TikTok, kind of breaking them down into smaller videos. Please feel free to follow me, or I highly encourage you. Actually, before you click off, don't not follow me. Like, how dare you? I'm just kidding. But definitely follow me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. It's at BehatiLife. There are people who are portraying as me. There's only one though. It's at B as in boy, EH as in, well, you know, H, A, T as in tiger, ILIF as in Franklin, my boy, and then E as in egg salad. There's only one of me, but there's a multitude of people who try to show up and pretend that they're me. They take my photos, my selfies, my content, and try to replicate it or repost it. And they're just like, reach out to me and I'll do a reading for you. I don't reach out to anybody and offer readings. That's just something that I don't do. If you saw my wait list right now, and if you saw my current client list and people who are waiting for readings, you would know that I would not be reaching out to people and being like, hey, can I shuffle for you right now? That's just not something that I do. Also, I don't really spend too much time on social media outside of pushing what it is I'm sharing. I know Eve says that is so weird. I know. Tell me about it. It's so weird. But we actually like not live streamed. We called one that was a scammer, and he was actually in Africa. He had a cigarette in his mouth, and he was like, it's so weird that he answered the call. We're like, what are you doing? And he was saying that his family is broke, that they don't have any money. Broke is not the right word. There's no opportunity there from what I trust of this person who's scamming. And I know that I shouldn't give this person the benefit of the doubt and I shouldn't defend them. But that is something that I feel like I want to do right now in the situation. It's just tough. It's tough. It's tough all over the globe. It's tough all over the world. And the fact that I can't relate to the situation says a lot about my situation, that I've never been in a situation that makes me desperate to do something like that. So minimum, I want to set intention and pray and bless those people who have to be in places like that. And if we can extend a helping hand, then I would like to do that. However, having said that, don't get scammed by nobody because I'm not the one who's offering those readings. Oftentimes it's someone who is just taking screenshots and using what they can to get what they need to get by in really crazy times. And we're all doing the best that we can. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I freaking love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We are going live next Monday. Let me pull it up. Okay, no, never mind. I was going to ask a question and I'm just going to hold off because not every thought needs to be shared. And I notoriously will share every thought. So next week is the 12th. Go ahead and put on your calendar the 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be going live. Okay. TikTok, thank you so much. I love you. And I'll see you guys later. And YouTube, thank you again so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being a part of my Insta family, and put on your calendar. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.